all getting down in there doing all the same stuff. So if you're shopping, please hit them up. And of course, like I said, Summit Racing, our title sponsor here. Let me jump over here, and I'm going to actually let Brian Loans tell you about it.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Why did it mute us?
I don't know. That's weird. It's the first time that's happened.
All right.
Just want to say thanks to Tommy and the team over at Summit. Man, those guys aren't just sponsors of the program here, but they're also drag and drive racers, which makes them kind of cool. And we're going to get to hang out with them at Sick Week, dude. They're bringing the big truck down full of parts and pieces, couple hundred parts and pieces in there, at least maybe encroaching 1,000 parts and pieces in there. I will tell you, do not wait. If you forget your helmet or it's out of date or gloves or something like that, you still have time to order it. I would say try and order it from them. Or if you need it, you need to be there like day zero, early morning, and get that stuff picked up because they will sell out. So safety stuff, window nets, belts, all that kind of stuff they keep with them, fuel pumps, all kinds of things you can imagine putting together. Well, dude, let's do this thing. I wanted to be sooner than this, but man, 6 minutes. I can't go any faster than that. So here's the deal. When you signed up for the circuit, thank you to everybody who signed up for the circuit and the road trip. Dude, we've got more than double the count for road trip already. Part of that was you were offered an opportunity to purchase these decals that are special for the circuit and special for this drawing right here that we're going to do, because Summit Racing is awesome and they gave us a $250 gift card to give to a lucky winner. So we are going to basically draw for that chance right now, but we're going to do 3 drawings. We're going to do the first one for a hoodie from the Circuit 2026. You guys will pick up at the Circuit event. Then we're going to do a $50 Love's Travel Stops gift card, buy gas, whatever you want to with it. That'll also be picked up at the event. And then the $250 Summit Racing gift card. So if you guys were watching, I sent out an email earlier to all of the circuit participants, people that had bought a ticket. No waitlisters are on this. This is only people that have a ticket to get into the circuit and race or road trip. Okay. So we're going to be doing a lot of this. Well, I wouldn't say a lot. We're going to be doing some of this as we move in, because if you're coming, we want to take care of you. We want to, scratch your back and do all that kind of stuff, because you guys put your support in us and we appreciate that a whole bunch. So, Mr. Eric White, I'm going to bring up the random.org.
Yes, sir.
Page. I should have done this a second ago. I'm going to bring up random.org here. Now, we have 237 photos or 237 tickets purchased.
I have the list right here.
Okay.
On my phone.
Yep. So, of those, all of those numbers, if like Brian Acton bought 5, he is number 3 through 8 or whatever is in relationship to his number, right?
Yep.
So that's correct. How this works. So it's in the chronological order of purchases and then in the number of purchases on there. Okay. That's how I broke it down. If you guys have any questions, go to the email that I sent earlier to the circuit racers. Can you see me right now?
See you. Yes.
Okay, so I've got 1 through number 237.
Yep.
So the first drawing is going to go to number 235. What the heck, dude? That's like way. That's somebody that like bought the last few tickets. Can you tell us who was it?
Number 235 is Chuck Bankston.
Come on, that's awesome. He is one of the last guys to buy tickets. He is going to get a hoodie from the Circuit 2026. And again, he'll pick that up at the event. We're going to hit generate again. You ready?
I am ready.
Number 86.
Number 86 is
hit it.
Go ahead.
I'll say this is for a $50 Love's Travel Stop gift card.
That goes to Chris White.
Sweet. In one of my favorite square body blazers that's, I don't know, in the world right now, I think. Congratulations to Chris. That's $50. And our $250 winner, you ready?
I am ready.
Generate number 12. Who's number 12, dude?
Number 12, $250 gift card to Summit is Norman Cornell.
Yes, that's awesome. I think Norman was like the third or fourth person to buy tickets. So congratulations to those guys, man. Appreciate that a bunch. I'm assuming you wrote that down.
I'm going to, but I was looking at our list here. So
Oh, awesome.
as
Okay.
you keep talking, I'm going to document these.
Cool. Well, congratulations to those guys. Thank you again to Summit. Appreciate you guys very much. Thank you all for the purchases of that. The decals will be ordered first thing in the morning. Eric and I were actually talking about that. He may tweak it just a little bit, and then I'll get those ordered, and I will ship them when I get back from Sick Week because they're going to come in down there. I'm just telling you. That's what. All right. What else we got here in our Summit stuff? Oh, yes. Also, Summit has sent over discount codes for 2026 racers and road trippers. Got to remember to say that. This is a special, unique code for everybody. So I'm working on how to get that sent out. I don't know how to do that in a newsletter kind of setup. So I've sent an email to MailChimp, who we use, and asked them how to do it. So hopefully they'll get back to me tomorrow and I'll be able to send those out. There's a special discount code that we can use for the circuit right here or right there at Summit Racing. So pretty cool. Thanks again to Tommy and the team over there.
All right. All of those are documented at the bottom of our notes.
Sweet. All right. Well, drag driver Pete updates. How does this blow up your skirt? 88 days until the first drag and drive of the single day event stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. That's man, that is coming up quick. 88 days is not very long when you start thinking about it. 3 months goes by really quick.
Yeah, the guys the other night on Gearhead Perspective podcast were talking about this, and I was like, I felt my blood pressure go up. It's getting pretty close. So classes will mimic the short circuit. We're going to have DYO class, which is dial your own, you versus usual, we call that. 12-0 index quarter mile, all motor quarter mile, power adder quarter mile, stick shift quarter mile, and we are adding tailgate, brought to you by our boy over at Cornerstone Performance Transmission. So we are going to have a tailgate class within that. And then we're going to 8th mile race as well with a 650 index. So that's going to be kind of fun. And then you guys will be excited. I'm actually going to release the route stops today, if that's all right with you, Eric.
Yeah, let's go for that.
So it's like a 71-mile drive. So this will be pretty easy. But you got to remember, we're racing in the morning. We're turning in passes. Then we're making the drive. Then we're coming back to make passes again. Those two separate times will be those will set your average. That will determine the winner, right?
Yep.
So we're going to drive from Tulsa Raceway Park up to Ed Galloway's Totem Pole Park in Foyle, Oklahoma, which is so cool, man. That place has a ton of history. So we're going to drive there. Then we're going to turn around and come back. We're going to hit the Route 66 Museum in Claremore, which I think most of the folks that have done that part of Route 66 have probably been there. And then, of course, one of my favorite spots, the Blue Well in Catoosa, is going to be our other stop on our way back through. And the cool thing about the Blue Well is we're going to stop now, and then we're going to skip it for the event in June. And then when we come back for the Route 66 Rumble, our last single day event of the year, in August, we'll be back to Blue Well in Catoosa. So we'll be able to see the upgrades and the changes throughout the year. So that's going to be kind of
fun. Chris, I'm late. What did I miss? Chris, you, sir, won something during our drawing. You won a $50 gift card to Love's Travel Stop.
Yeah. So, yeah, you missed something pretty good. And then go ahead.
Question here from Ralph. How many cars at a single day event like that?
I think if we can get 30, 40, something like that. This is within an event called Motorama, which the guys that do the Mid-American Nationals is putting on a big Ford and Shelby meet. So this is within Cars and Coffee style event that'll be there that morning. So I think if we can get 30 people in there, I think that'll be fine. I'm not worried about opening registration as early for it yet. I'll probably open it really early. I don't know, maybe even middle of February. This isn't something this is something people will be able to sign up for day of. And I'm really pushing for that because I really want these guys to come in a Cars and Coffee. They come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. They're sitting there, they're bored. They're like, I've already signed up for the test and tune. Well, now all I've got to do is a 70-mile drive, and I get, a special windshield decal, and I get to be a part of this whole thing called Drag and Drive. So that's kind of my goal with these 3 single day events, is to really just bring in a ton of new people, and they don't have to spend a bunch of money to get out and do it. So $125 is going to be the entry for this. And people that are entering are going to get, event t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be kind of fun for that one. So yeah, I'm hoping 40, something like that ish.
And then Rodney asking how you access the affiliate with Summit. That is on a pinned post on Facebook. You can go to that, and it's on all the links on dragdriverepeat.com. Anywhere you see Summit, click on that. It's a pass-through link that will take you directly to the Summit website.
Yep, that's the best way. And then the circuit. Are you ready for this? 100 days, bro.
Whew. That seems a little crazy.
Whew, man, 200 racers and 27 road trippers. We got a lot of people to feature, man. That's 2 a day minimum.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Start showing all those. Yeah. So guys, we need either reply to that email that I sent out thanking you for coming to the circuit with cars and details, or send them to the Facebook page here, send them to the messenger, something like that. Please help us gather all these, because it really, you can spend hours upon hours upon hours going and finding these photos and making sure that it's the right car and the right person and all that stuff. So help us out a little bit there. Send us a picture of what you're going to be bringing to the circuit 2026.
Okay, Clark, I have 100 days to build a twin turbo setup for my wagon.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. It's been a lot of other stuff built a lot quicker than that. So this will be the racer card for this year. So this is what you guys will see when you send in this one here, John Shaw out here in the G-Body stick shift Malibu, and then Jordan Shaw in the G8 and Lee Shaw in the C10. These dudes are all signed up for. We see. No, I thought they were all signed up for You versus You, but I was wrong. 12-0 index for Jordan in the G8. So. Yep. These will begin to drop. Obviously, these photos tonight. I'll drop these, and then we'll begin kind of putting these out. I would love to do 5 or 6 a day. We'll have to see how quickly we can roll through some of these. So Joe's been working diligently, gathering all of those, and then Eric does the artwork here for us to have right here on these. So appreciate you, dude. You're awesome.
Oh, yeah. They look good this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig it a bunch. It's going to be really fun. And I like the asphalt in the back because of, the Route 66 travel is going to be, we're going to be almost 300 miles on Route 66. So,
I can't wait.
Yeah, bring it on. Well, sir, let's talk about some Driven Racing Oil event updates.
All right, let's hit this video and let's talk about those events.
Hey, it's Brandon from Fort Smith, Arkansas here. Driven Racing Oil is a performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application. Whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing the limits in top-fueled drag boats and demo derbies, winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cleaning and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat-tapped camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil and enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance.
Oh, yeah. And DDR10 gets you a 10% discount on anything on the Driven Racing Oil website. And follow them on social media, Facebook or Instagram, Driven Racing Oil. Find out what event they're going to be at. And they're going to be at Sick Week here in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, 11 days is the count.
Whew.
If you're getting anxious. We actually, Eric and I looked at plane tickets today. He was trying to see if he could just make that work, but it's just not going to work for him to be there. But we're devising a plan for this for Sick Week 2027.
Yes.
Right. We're gonna get Eric and the families down there. Maybe that's maybe the way we do it. All right, let's talk about some event updates from across the country.
Yes, the All-Star Drag and Drive is sold out. Registration just went up for this. I think we talked about it on Saturday, if I remember.
Yeah, I think it made it 2 hours.
Whew.
Yeah, I think that's how far apart the posts were, that it was open and then it was sold out. So
that's awesome. congratulations to everybody that got into the All-Star Drag and Drive.
Yeah, that's one in Australia. That may be one we need to go to,
Whew.
All right, and then Little Gangsters, man, y'all know the Drag and Drive guys, these 850 guys go down there and just rack it up, man. These guys are deadly on this thing, so I can't wait to see a Drag and Drive racer make that. Streetcar Bragging Rights 2026 adds the biggest payout in Little Gangster history, $30,000. Dude, I would love to see a Drag and Drive racer take this home. I think Jeremy Ortiz, if he's in here tonight, I think he was talking about going.
He usually does, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this kind of money, it's going to bring out some serious, hopefully some serious 850 Drag and Drive racers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. And then Sick Week starts in 11 days. So I just wanted to feature some people that are coming from a long way, man. So Run of Sioux Falls headed this direction.
Yeah, Trevor Brandon sent us a pic today. They are already on the way to Florida. If you see that picture there, that is a long ways to get to
Dude,
Florida.
Yeah, I wish I had put that larger. How many kilometers is that in there? I can't see.
It is 5,115 kilometers, which is 3,178 miles.
That's insane.
Yes.
One way, bro.
Yes. Yeah, that is one way.
I mean, they'll be like 7,500 miles by the time they get done with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very, very far. But good luck to them. They're on their way, and they're going to be in the Sick Week Freaks class, looking to duke it out with Mr. Cooper Bogetti in there.
Yeah, I think they've got a call out for those guys. So that'll be fun to watch. And then, of course, we saw Calvin Nelson. He's coming down, and he's going to be on the show next week on the 28th for episode 137 to talk about the Camaro they're bringing down there.
And Raj here saying heading out tomorrow.
Yeah. He had the photo on the top right there is from yesterday, and had it running. Carl sounded amazing.
Yep.
Can't wait. And then Sean, the What No Way guy, he's headed south. And then the other photo is Danny Gruba, who actually towed his stuff from California to Texas to get kind of ahead of everything. And then we'll be, driving from there. So pretty awesome.
Yep. Lots of people heading from far away. I think I told you this earlier today. I think this might be the greatest Sick Week so far. I think it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening. There's going to be a lot of, I say, records that are going to be broken this year. Yes,
100%. I'm excited to be in the middle of all of it. It's going to be a really weird year this year, as how much time I'm going to spend on the starting line.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up, Chaos Cruise in California with the Redwood Rally team, April 18th and 19th. Dude, I just put this together. That's the same day as our Street and Strip series, our first event. I think I'm going to have to do some trash talking, man. Like, it's 400 miles, so it's they're driving way more than we're going to have our guys drive. But yeah. I think we're going to have to see if there's some classes that overlap maybe. Starts at the pizza place, Players Pizza in Anderson, California. You drive to the racetrack through, route stops and all that stuff. And then they're having a fast car shootout invitational. And then you drive back to Players Pizza the next day. What's Raj saying?
No street is safe. No taco stand won't be passed.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Bring it on. Well, dude, this puts us at 45 events for the year.
Yeah. That is insane. You can find all of those at dragdriverepeat.com/event list-2026. And that is going to be in the chat. So if you guys want to check out all of those 45 events, head over there. You can see where they're at and links right to each one of the event pages.
And this is totally top secret stuff, but I did have a message from someone in the Northeast the other day that they are working on a regional event in the Northeast. So if that happens, they said we'll be the first to be able to announce it. So I'm kind of pumped.
Yes, sir.
One up there, dude. They need one up there bad. Again, thanks to Driven. DDR10 discount code 10% over there for whenever you're shopping for drivenracingoil.com.
Yep. All right, J-Wire Solution segment up next here. Hit this video and talk about this.
What's up, guys? My name is Cole from Fort Worth, Texas. Expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, hell, even your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience way better, like their blinker module that is just a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. Find all the details at jwiresolutions.com.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
we got here I had 5
That's
jobs.
probably Danny.
Yep, it is to start and work on in Texas. So it was very odd towing the Ute halfway, but just made more sense. Plan is to work till Friday next week, drive to my aunt's and grab the car.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Bring it on, dude. I can't wait.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about this, and then after this segment, we're going to bring in Thomas. So, this is a big deal. I want you guys to. I know we don't talk a lot about NHRA, IHRA, sanctioning bodies, all that kind of stuff over here, but this is a big deal. At 8:00 tonight, or at 9 p.m. Eastern, Vice TV on YouTube or on their own app is dropping their behind the scenes footage, their like Formula One style documentary that Netflix did. It's coming for the NHRA. Y'all, we've got to support this. I'm just telling you right now. Brian Lones was talking the other day on Wes Buck's show on the Drag Illustrated deal, said this is the early screenings he has seen. It's going to be awesome. You can see in the promos for it, it is a lot of that one-on-one conversation, somebody talking, having all the conversations there. And this is going to be a big deal. And this is what we need for drag racing, because we need to show that there's a lot more than just cars going down the track side by side. This is it's going to show the struggles and the heartbreak that comes along with all of the drag racing. So definitely jump over there. Vice TV, again, you can find it. This is going to be playing on their YouTube channel and on their, apparently they've got an app too, but it's a 6-part series going to be dropping, I think, every Wednesday night at 8:00. So bring it on, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Next up, I don't know if you got a chance to see this, but Drag Illustrated Winter Series is going to be played on Amazon Prime on Friday. That's going to be cool.
Yes, I can't wait for this. This is a big deal for those guys. A lot of those pro mod racers don't ever race NHRA, so they don't get that kind of television coverage. Plus, I think Wes said there's like 130 million Amazon Prime users. Dude,
Yeah.
can we just grab a few percentages of those for some drag racing?
Right.
I mean, can we introduce it to some new people? So I think that's going to be awesome. And then, has anybody else been watching NC Pro Modder nonstop? Like, I just set my computer up in front of the TV today and worked and had it playing. So I watched at least 10 hours of his coverage today. So great stuff. One-man show out there, multi-camera angle. Big shout out to NC Pro Modder. We love him over at the Midwest Drag Race Series stuff too. This guy, he puts it down, man. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So, and of course on Saturday the race will be on Flow Racing. So you got to have a sign in for that. But hey, most everything else is there, Anyways,
I've watched it all day.
yeah, I'm telling you. So one thing that's kind of crazy about the Winter Series is during testing, it's no time. So I like it. I like that there's no time during testing. One, because there's been so many people shut their stuff off at 300 feet. It would be boring to see a 640 show up on the boards anyways. But what do you think? What do you think?
I like it. I think it gets everybody a chance to do their testing. You see your own stuff, but as a competitor, you can't be out there sniping out what everybody else is doing. So you got to focus on your own program.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. No time stuff is pretty interesting to me. We're at drag strips that have timing systems, but no times are shown. So times will be shown obviously during qualifying and then during racing, of course. And then True 10.5 is showing times as well. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. All right. And then little gangster stuff. Rick Steinke and Michael Hollis are going to be competing. Man, $20,000.
Yeah, I'm in for this. Good. Michael Hollis has won 6 little gangster events. Like he's the favorite, but our money rides right on our boy Rick Steinke. Honk if parts fall off. That dude is the man. We need him to go to do better than he did. These guys, they get one test hit the day before, and then they're off the trailer from there. So, going to be kind of interesting for those guys. But I know he's got a tune in it, and can definitely go in that 530 index. And this heads up, man. So you can't go faster than 530, and you need to be first to the stripe. So pretty interesting stuff. So good luck to those guys. And if anybody else knows of any drag and drive racers that are racing little gangsters, tell us. Let us know.
And this next stuff here, I'm getting real excited about, and getting a little bit of a FOMO because we talked about this today. Larry Larson had the truck out testing.
Kind of pumped about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did that make you feel?
I was sad. I was watching it on TV. That's for damn sure.
How many years has it been?
10 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I mean, just think about that. Larry Larson, you've got Bailey, you've got Lutz, you've got Goldstone's new car, like you've got Snot Rocket, like the cars that are going to be at this year's Sick Week is absolutely nuts, and they're already out there testing.
Oh yeah, and the guys were testing today at Orlando, but like Brett LaSalle is running that car in LDR, and he was testing Monday. Tuesday, I think he was testing at Orlando. I don't know where he tested today. Did I send it? Was it you? I sent the picture of he was testing back at Bradenton today.
You might have. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember, man. That dude's crazy. That car is going to be super fast. Just got back from more race chassis. They got it together like Friday afternoon or something like that.
Yeah.
Ought to be insane.
Pretty excited of the level of vehicles that are at least going to kick off Sick Week. We'll see how many of them make it to the end, but
yeah. Well, Larry Larson is the fastest car to have never quit. He's finished all 11 drag and drives he's ever started. So that says something right there. That guy doesn't have quit in his body, and this will be kind of fun to see him take on something like this. I mean, dude, he's been out of it 10 years. Is he ready? Is he ready?
Yeah.
He's gonna have it. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and how much has changed since then? The level of competition, it's going to be a little different for him, but
yeah, bring it on, man. I can't wait. And of course, the other guys that are down there, good luck to them. I haven't seen any times. Nobody's posted times that I've seen so far, but maybe Derek Putnam can tell us what Bailey ran in there somewhere. Just maybe like a 3:30 or a 6:60 time. We don't have to know the whole thing. We know he is the fastest street car that's out there. Big shout out to Jimmy Dale. Man, this guy's been working hard. He was joking last night on the Boost and Bullshit show that 3 years ago they were racing in a parking lot. Now he's running a screw blown LDR car. Like, that's pretty awesome.
yes.
And that comes with hard work and determination, and he's got both. So pretty cool. Again, 11 days, Sick Week. Gonna be nuts.
It'll be on Freedom Plus, so anybody that's a Sick the Mag subscriber is going to get to watch that for free. Watch your email for that code to get in and watch it on Freedom Plus.
Yeah, and be watching for your boy down there on the starting line, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave it at all. Because not just the fast stuff, but everything that's down there. That DYO and Pro DYO class is going to be insane this year. And then our boy Chris Wozniak has come out with a new app. I just wanted to feature it tonight, just real quick. This is like, he was trying to show me. He's got a whole video explaining what all it does and how much stuff you can change and all that. And this kind of goes along with all of the WAF racing products and things from that, the whole thing. He's just such a nerd. I love it. It's awesome. But we're going to be talking in depth about this on Saturday, but I could not talk about it tonight. So it's called Track Buddy. It's basically, it gives you track DAs. It gives you all of your settings on your car. Like, it's basically your notepad. So I hope Jay Blanchard at J-Wire Solutions is watching this, because he could convert a lot of that stuff over to this. It would be awesome to see him test this out with Chris Wozniak at Sick Week. They'll be right there next to each other. So this will be kind of fun to see it go down.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, big shout out to Jaywire. I haven't updated this photo in a while, but you guys need to go over, subscribe to their YouTube channel. Jay has plans to do some long form stuff on their products, but also on tips and tricks for wiring and plumbing your car and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're looking up Jaywire Solutions on YouTube, and then also on the internet. They have all kinds of cool parts and pieces and all that stuff. All right, man, let's do it. Let's run through this ad read real quick, and then we'll bring in our guest for the evening.
All right. Attention racers and high performance enthusiasts. Are you ready to start your next engine build? If so, there is no better time than right now to check out Molly Motorsports all-in-one Power Pack piston kits. With over 1,200 applications, these kits come complete with pistons, rings, wrist pins, and clips, all designed to work together. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And for those podcast listeners, Molly is spelled Mahle.
For sure, Molly Motorsports, Molly, is not as much fun. I promise. All right, let's bring in Mr. Thomas West here.
Hey.
The man of the hour. What's up, dude?
Hey, nothing much. What's going on, guys?
Man, not much. I'm excited. We were talking before the show. You've got some cool shit going on. So take us a minute. Tell us who you are, what you do, and all that kind of cool stuff.
My name's Tom West. I own a bunch of different businesses here in Nashville. I got started in the heavy truck business and refrigeration business, like transport refrigeration. And I've been a racer my whole life. So that kind of transitioned into me opening up my own speed shop. And we started, tuning and, doing cam swaps and stuff of that nature. And that just kind of blew up into full blown whatever anybody wants. So we got, drag and drive cars back here. We're building turbo kits. And we recently kicked off a manufacturing company. We're making a lot of our own parts and designing new things out there. So it's just been a whirlwind of spiral of stuff happening over and over again.
So what you're saying is you're a busy guy.
The phone never stops ringing, man. It's it sucks sometimes.
Well, hey, we appreciate you giving us some time tonight and giving everybody at home the time. So
absolutely.
The reason this conversation started was one, your experience at Sick Smokies, which is what we're going to talk about first. But we met you, or I met you, Eric had met you before at Sick Kart Chaos. Dude, heck of a driver there. You drove for the Excess Power team. Did well, I think, right?
We got third place, man. That was a pretty interesting thing that we did there. I'm not real into like circle track racing, you know what I mean? Never have been. And I think we did somewhere around 125 laps or something there. And my body was beat. That was the roughest thing that I've ever done in my life.
Eric, where did y'all finish?
Last. We finished last.
That's all right. But I think y'all had like 123 laps. Like, it wasn't crazy. But hey, I told Tommy at Summit, do not pick me. Don't pick me. I'm not going up. I'm too out of shape.
Yeah, that was I found myself halfway through the race, like hyperventilating. Like I was breathing hard. I was like, man, I'm out of shape, dude. I got to do something about my life.
Yeah. In the qualifying, I came around the corner. I hit really hard. Everybody's heard this story. And then the next lap, I came down and it said I had 3 minutes left. And I was like, I'm in trouble. This is not good. So, yeah, it was a great time. But, dude, that's like probably the slowest thing you've driven in a long time.
Well, I mean, it was pretty intense. But, I mean, as far as going fast, I mean, I guess you could say that.
Well, let's talk about Sick Week or Sick Smokies. I want to talk about Sick Week. You can tell already, but Sick Smokies was your first kind of step into drag and drive. But I don't want to ask that question yet. I want to know about this car you brought because I'm kind of a fan.
Gotcha. So that I'm not a Ford guy by no means, and a lot of people that really know me, they know that. I've never liked the modular motors. I guess it's because there's so many timing chains and just so much going on. I'm an old pushrod guy, but my wife absolutely loves these cars. And as she's been moving forward in her racing career, she wanted to get into stick shift racing. And she's always raced automatics, and she wanted to jump in behind a 3-pedal car like us. So we started building her one, and the question was, what do you want? And she was hands down, she wanted a Mustang. So, what mama wants, mama's going to get, you know what I mean? So, but I put my spin on it. So it's got it's LS swap. It's fully built. It's got a 98 106 millimeter turbo on it. It's got a TR 6060 in it that's built. It's 9-inch rear end. I mean, the car is as far as you can go with it without putting a cage and a straight axle in it.
Wow. Incredible, dude. That's
pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. And to have that big of a turbo, I bet that thing probably still drives pretty good though, like just kind of puttering it around,
Surprisingly, and we were able to work with the body control module in this car. Of course, the car's on a Holley Dominator, but we were able to power up the body control module, and everything works in this thing from heat to power windows, all the creature comforts inside of it. And then suspension wise, it's got Vikings on it and everything, every upgrade that we could do to it. This thing rides like a Cadillac. So driving it was just absolutely phenomenal. It's like driving a regular, 9-to-5 car that you're going to find on the road. And, you can one hand the steering wheel. It still has power steering. This thing was great.
Wow. And makes how much power?
It made 1,300 wheel. And we haven't really turned it up. So I've only got 1,700 cc injectors in it, and it's on an E85 only car. So it's kind of borderline maxed out where it is right now, but it's something for her to learn on. So we didn't want to go too crazy with it. And of course, it's not got a cage in it yet. So, she can't go too fast, but it's pretty wild,
Yeah, I bet.
And another thing about the car that I really love about it is, again, we just covered that. It just drives like a Cadillac, and, it's absolutely sweet, man. And now I kind of like it, even though I'm not a Ford guy. It's one of my favorite cars. And she's like, yeah, you got to get out of that thing. She won't let me drive it that much. But the cool thing was about this event is I'd recently had neck surgery. So I had a bunch of discs replaced in my neck. And this was 2 days before Sick Smokies. And, a friend of mine was like, you should go. And I happened to have Tom Bailey's number. So I hit him up and he's like, let me see if I can pull some strings. And he got me in this thing. And then I was kind of like, I don't know if I should do this because this car was untested. We had just finished it and we brought it to LS Fest to debut it. And of course, Sick Smokies was right after that. So it had no seat time in the car. And I was like, what am I getting myself into? This car's never been through punishment. And now we're going to take it on a drag and drive. I'm either incredibly smart and thank the world of the people that work for me that put this car together, or I'm incredibly dumb. One of the two.
Yeah. Both? Can you be
both?
Yeah,
absolutely. There we go.
Well, this is one of my favorite photos from the trip. The drag and drive trailer, all the cool stuff. I mean, this lights hit. It just hits right, man.
Thanks, man.
So I know we kind of talked a little bit at the Sick Cart Chaos, but you were saying like before this event, drag and drive wasn't really something that you thought you were going to get into. So kind of what made you end up getting into Sick Smokies as your first drag and drive event?
Well, I'm local. It's kind of local here to Tennessee, so it's not too far away. And the deal is everybody kept trying to push me to do this. And as you know, I drive a lot of really fast stick shift cars. And one of the things that a lot of people know about stick shift cars is we're hard on these things, and transmissions don't like to survive. And the rest of the car doesn't like to survive, especially my driving style. So, with that being said, and that was during Sick Smokies, I broke the output shaft, the main shaft on the transmission. We had to put one in the parking lot, but and then we had to fix axles. I mean, this was pretty wild. We made one out of a brake shoe, but I wanted to do one because so many people were pushing me to do it. But the drawback to it for me is, man, this is going to be a lot of work driving, stick shift and my style of driving. We're working on my car after every pass. It's going up in the trailer. We're nut and bolt checking this thing. And I'm like, at this level of competition that I'm going to be bringing to a drag and drive event, dude, this is going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the one thing I was like, people that do this are absolutely nuts. This is a lot of work. So I didn't want to do a lot of work. So I guess that was kind of why I didn't really like the whole idea of a drag and drive event.
Yeah, which we'll talk a little bit later, but ended up completely opposite. You enjoyed the heck out of it. You did have to work as the picture showed, but
oh yeah.
So what kind of times were you running in the Mustang?
So I was limited to, I believe, like a 950 in the quarter, and then I don't recall, I think a 675 or something like that in the 8. So I had to, because it has no cage in it, you know, it's just running stock seat belts and stuff of that nature in it. So we kind of tuned the car down just a little bit. And I mean, for the first 3 days, I was being consistent until we broke the transmission in half.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the notes I was making there, man. Tell us about these. I'm going to bring these photos back up. Tell us about what's going on here. So this is the output shaft of the trans. Just lays the drive shaft on the ground.
Yeah. So we that was when we made it to Knoxville. I believe this was our 4th track, and we made it to Knoxville. And as soon as I went up there, I laid into it, and it snapped right away. So unfortunately, that day I had to take a 20 because we couldn't locate a transmission in time. Of course, I didn't bring one with me, but we found one about 2 hours away and made a deal with a guy, and he brought it down to us. And another friend of mine that owns a shop there in Knoxville, Wicked Performance, he came down with tools loaded in his truck to let us borrow a bunch of stuff because we didn't have everything we needed to swap this thing in. So he lent us a bunch of tools and dropped them off and hung out and drunk beer and watched us work.
That's awesome. But what's going on here? What is this? This is the axle?
Yeah. So when we were in Crossville, this was our 3rd track. We laid down a couple good passes, and I just kept wanting to make passes to try and increase that number. You know what I mean? And the last pass we made, I snapped. That's the axle stub going into the wheel, and I snapped that. And at the track, there was a guy there with a welder, so we kind of welded it up. And then we immediately, when we left the track, we thought we were just because we had another set of axles in Knoxville. So we just had to make it to Knoxville and we could get a set of axles and throw in it. But as soon as we pulled out, I heard it snap. Now this thing it's what sandwiches the wheel bearing together, you know? So when it snapped, I was like, there's no way we're going to make it to Knoxville. The wheel's going to fall off this thing. So as we're pulling out, we happened to drive by a record yard, Young's Towing. Shout out to them guys in Crossville. So I just pulled in there. And the guy knew exactly what was going on. I was like, hey, we're part of Sick Smokies. He's like, oh, man, I love Sick Week, and started talking to us. And I was like, well, I just broke an axle. And could y'all help us? Do you have a welder, a plasma cutter? What do you have? And he's like, dude, my shop is yours, whatever you need. So we took it apart, and the inside of it was kind of ate up. So I had to, in order to sandwich that bearing together, we cut the stub. And then I needed some filler. So that picture of me cutting that brake shoe, it had the perfect circle in it where that stub would fit down in it. So we cut the ear off of the brake shoe, and then I welded it I took that and stuck over the stub, and I plug welded it to the stub, and then the outer piece, we ground it down and welded it to the actual stub itself and put it all back together. And that took us, there was no shake in it. I mean, it was unbelievable. We still have it. Yeah, so that's like a little trophy that we got. We brought it with us. And it's sitting over here on a shelf somewhere, but we made it all the way to Knoxville, no problem, with that axle sub in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty
neat.
wild. And at one point, I think you said you were about to just give up. You're like, we can't fix all this.
Yeah. And I'm thankful for, and as crazy as it sounds, I'm thankful we broke that transmission, because there's no telling what else we were going to break. So after we broke the transmission, I had to take a 20. So once we got the new transmission in it, me and my co-driver, we just made a decision that we were going to make it through the entire race. So at that point, and of course, the following day, we made it to somewhere in the Smokies where we were about to go down that big, huge dragon tail or whatever. And Derek Putnam was out there, and Mike Finnegan, and Joe, and everybody, and Jimmy Dale was out there. And as soon as I pulled up, everybody just got in a circle and was giving us a round of applause because they knew that we had broke the transmission. And I was just kind of shaking my head like, I don't know how this is going to happen. But whenever I pulled up, everybody was ecstatic. And then, we made the drive. Me and Finnegan were going down the tail of the dragon together. It was absolutely nuts.
Cool. How cool.
Yeah. Couple more questions here about Sick Smokies. What was your favorite track that you visited?
I'm going to say Music City Speedway. And the reason why I say that is we were only some of the few that got to go up there because some guy did this big, huge wheelie and took out the light stand. Yeah, they took it right out. So,
shout out to Reggie Moore.
That was pretty cool. We got to race that track. And I don't even though I live probably 30 minutes from that track, I don't really go there because it's kind of dangerous. It's extremely short. We race really fast cars, and there's not a lot of shutdown. And it's on top of a mountain. So if you don't shut down, you're going off the mountain. So I really don't go out there, but I used to go there as a kid. So it was really cool to go out there and experience that again. So that's I'd say that was my favorite track.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
How fun.
What about a favorite story from the drives? Because, obviously track time is only part of the drag and drive. So lots of time on the road. You got any favorite stories from the drive?
Absolutely. So, I'm kind of big into politics, so I do a lot here with the county and stuff of that nature. I own a Turning Point page here in Tennessee. We got 100,000 followers on that. I do a lot with Turning Point and stuff of that nature. My takeaway from this event was a really big, huge thing for me. And I don't necessarily think that a drag and drive is the answer, for the world. But the thing that I saw about this is at that given moment, this whole week of chaos that we was going through, no one cared about skin color, religion, your national, nothing mattered. And there could have been a 9/11 going on and we wouldn't have even known about it, And if you were broke down on the side of the road, you better make sure you had your thumbs up, or there was 5 or 6 cars stopping to help you. Yeah. It just hit me that when the focus changes, everything else changes. And our only focus was that drag and drive event. It's everybody making it to the next racetrack. And like I said, there were so many people I never met in my life, and everybody was helping everybody. And it was one of the greatest adventures I've ever been on in my life. And I just feel like if we could all just stand together and change the focus and stop focusing on our differences and focusing on the things that we have in common, the whole world would change.
Preach. Preach. Yeah. Can I get an amen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's why I love it. This is the best car community, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It was absolutely great.
Right there. Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. Well, how about this is your first time to be racing and have route stops. What'd that feel like? Obviously, you tell the story a minute ago when you pull in, everybody's giving you pats on the back and cheering for you. But what about the other stuff? What's the cool stuff along the way?
Dude, it was great, and Tom Bailey and his crew does such a great job on the different things that you're going to see out there. We went to Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary and got to roll up on that. We went down there to the NASA Space Museum, and then just other little places along the way, like old school diners that look like speed shops and stuff of that nature. And the routes that are taken, the scenery that we got to see, waterfalls and everything else, it was just absolutely amazing. And being able to do that with like-minded individuals that aren't going to go out here and do burnouts and all kinds of crazy shit and get the cops called on us all the time. You know, you're driving all these fast cars halfway across the country, it seems like, and there's police officers riding with you and waving at you and taking pictures of the cars. It was just the most amazing thing I've ever been in my life, and I'm so pumped to continue to do this some more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. I joked with Derek Putnam in one of the posts the other day. I said, it just takes one.
That's it. That's it. That's all it takes. It takes one to change everything. Absolutely everything.
Yeah. Actually, Jeff leads me perfect in the next question here. He said the tail of the dragon in a drag car has to be silly. What was your experience? Have you ever done tail of the dragon? And what was your experience doing it here with the Mustang on the Dragon Drive?
So I'd never been down the tail of the dragon. I've heard stories about it, you know, people crashing and all this extra stuff. And luckily enough, I got to, ride with Finnegan and Joe. They were in front of me. And being that we're stick shift cars, we don't have to worry about transmissions overheating or anything of that nature. So, you know, we had a little conversation before we went down there that we were going to get down this mountain and we were going to get down it quick. We had these things stuck in third gear. And I'm surprised we didn't get pulled over. We were flying, man. And it was awesome. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I would have not have figured that. But, I mean, I guess you probably have. What's your front tire on that car?
It's actually a 20x8, so I don't run a skinny on that car.
Tire,
yeah. And then on the rears, a friend of mine here in town, when we were putting it together for this Dragon Drive event, we had to make a hitch for it and all kinds of stuff. And he had a set of bead locks that he sold me for $1,500. And he gave me the fronts and everything. So I got another set of front runners and everything for a Mustang. And we took that set of bead locks and put a street tire on it. So I had a street tire on bead locks, and then I had a drag tire on bead locks that we had on the trailer. So, I mean, just all the way around. And it was a 17, so we could run a good tire on it and all that stuff. Dude, the car just handled perfectly like it was just a street car.
That's awesome. And what's funny, like you look at that car, and I mean, it very unassuming, except for the, what's that, a 4-inch out of the front?
It's a 5-inch exhaust car.
Yeah. Except for that, car looks, normal.
Absolutely. Well, and that's one thing that the car really did good at is everywhere we went, you got a whole bunch of people banding together. We drove through downtown Nashville and everybody was yelling, put it on the chip. And we were putting it on the chip. I mean, that thing shoots fireballs like 15 feet high. And we was at the Parthenon, just lighting up the Parthenon building and all kinds of crap. It was great.
Yeah, hang on. Somebody made that comment a while ago. Here, Jeff says, and spits fire like a dragon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, one thing about these events is your co-pilot. So tell us who was your co-pilot and how much fun you had with it. I thought I had a photo in here, but I didn't grab it. Sorry.
Yep. So David was my co-pilot, and he's one of the guys that works here at the shop. Yeah, exactly. He worked his tail off.
David sent me, or Tom sent me photos with David in them. I just forgot to put them in the Sick Smokies segment here. Sorry about that, dude.
All is good, but his wife lives in another state, so he lives by himself, and all he has is a dog. And of course, everybody else here that works here is married, or has a girlfriend at home, or something of that nature. So to be gone a week kind of sucks, you know what I mean? And just to pick up, we had 2 days notice to take off, you know what I mean? So I said, David, you trying to go? And he's like, I'm down for the ride. So he jumped right in. We threw our clothes in the car and we were out.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. It takes a dude like that too. It's like he wasn't, if he knew then, he was in it.
Yeah.
In the middle of it.
And we, like I said, you saw, we had to do a lot of work on this car, and especially putting the transmission in. We did that overnight, and then I got to a point when I was driving, when we were trying to make it down to Gatlinburg, like I was starting to hallucinate. It looked like the trees were on fire and all kinds of crap. And we were both keeping each other awake. But like the next day, it's my co-pilot's job to, map out the the map and tell me where to turn at. You know what I mean? And I would look over there, and he'd be in the harness, like leaning forward, dead asleep, sleeping on the ride. I'm like, wake up, bro! I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, navigation is down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That happens to the best of us. I'm telling you, that's one of the hardest things. And that bumper exhaust probably helped as far as that air coming in the window.
Oh yeah.
Help him sleep a little bit.
Well, I'd put it on the chip and wake him up. He'd be like, ah!
Got it. I'm here. Well, real quick, I want to run through these photos while Eric finishes up just the last little bit here.
Yep. So I think you've already answered this question, but will you be doing another drag and drive?
Absolutely. So it's already in the books. And I've been talking to Finnegan a little bit. And I know that Taylor is taking it on Sick Week this here in like a week and a half. I actually have him 2 drive shafts laying over here in the floor. He just put a 9-inch in the thing and cut the floor out of it and all that stuff. So when we were at PRI, I was talking to Mike, and Mike's going to let me drive this thing. So you'll be seeing me in a drag and drive event in the Rotson very soon.
Man, dude, that's crazy. I think cool. Mike has more fun lending that car out than he does driving it.
Oh yeah. So we got plans to put a big nitrous kit on it. That's our idea. So we're gonna make like David over at Nitrous Outlet. One of his bottle manufacturers is making 55 gallon nitrous bottle, and he's going to shape it, or 55 pound, excuse me, and he's going to shape it and put fins on it and make it look like a air to surface missile, and we're going to strap it to the roof of this thing.
Yes.
And put a big cracking plate on it. It's going to be pretty nuts.
That's awesome.
I think Finnegan's got the right idea. If he keeps letting people drive that, the car is getting more and more built. It's going to come back to him. Way better car than what he sent it off in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about lending my cars out too. You know what I mean? Just take it and build it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, yeah. When they showed that video of them and they've cut the floor completely out of that car, I was like, what have you done?
Yeah.
You're a month from Sick Week. So.
Yeah. And Kyle took it before that. Kyle Buntley, he went to, I believe, Street and Yeet in it. Mm-hmm. And they kept breaking stuff on it too. So that's when they decided to redo the rear end in it. Kyle did some head work to it and some other things with the engine to make it faster. And then they started breaking the rear end. So I got with Kyle and Taylor, and I was like, let me put some drive shafts in this thing. So we're doing that. And then hopefully we can see what kind of number he runs with it. And then once I get it, I'm going to try and send it to the moon.
That's awesome, man. That's going to be crazy.
Do you have what event you're going to be driving it at?
We don't know yet. So I know that Finnegan's getting it back after Sick Week. And he's got something kind of special for it. I think it's getting an engine swap. So I'm pretty sure on that. And I think it's something billet too. So it might be pretty nuts. And then once he does that little rendition to it, then I'll be taking it on its maiden voyage, I guess.
That's awesome, dude. Oh, geez, that's crazy.
Hopefully, like crazy. 6 summer, that would be right in my neighborhood.
That would be pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
Be backyard right there, or drag week, which is in your backyard as well, Eric. I'm a little jealous of Eric this year, for sure. All right. Again, thanks to Molly. Thanks for telling us the stories of Sick Smokies. We're going to keep rolling through this right here. I want to say thanks to our race car friends, guys. Hit the share button again. We're just getting into the really good stories. We talked Sick Smokies. Now we're going to be talking cars that he's built, all this kind of fun stuff. So please hit that for us. And then, of course, our sponsors, we can't do that without them. So Summit Racing, Deech Works, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, JWire Solutions, AFCO Racing Products, Reformer Built Transmissions, and Car Change 3D. If you're doing some shopping, hit those guys up, see if they got something that'll work for you. Deech Works, we talked about them being the official fuel delivery of Drag Drive Repeat. We've talked about all kinds of fuel injectors and stuff. Tom was talking about that earlier. But Deech Works is a leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, rails, regulators, filters, lines and fittings, circuits, and pump modules, all engineered to support power levels ranging from 100 to 3,000 horsepower. Since its founding a long time ago, Here, I'm gonna mute him just real quick. That way he can grab that phone if he needs to. D-Works has been committed to delivering quality, innovation, and precision to the automotive industry. Make sure you're using code DDR10 over on deechworks.com for whenever you're ordering all of your stuff from those guys. All right, we're gonna switch up some gears real quick. I want to talk cars, dude. I want to talk builds that you currently have going on. Sorry, I'll unmute you there.
All right.
This I want to start with this one though, because damn son, the stance on this thing, bro, next level stuff. So we were talking a little bit before the show even started, and you were telling us kind of the plan for this car, but what is this thing, man?
All right, well, so we got to get into something with this. This car holds a special place in my heart, all right? And when I tell you the story behind it, you're not going to believe it. So I started building this car back in 2018, 2019. It was 2018, 2017. I mean, it was a long time ago. So we were putting this car together as a more or less of a street car. So we called it the gray area, and it had full Mustang suspension underneath it, the front, rear. It had an 8.8 in it. And, you know, it had a mild cage in it, nothing too serious. And then we started finishing out the cage in it. We put a halo in it. And at that time, I was married to my first wife, and we started going through a divorce. And I just got the car painted gray like it sits, and I was forced to sell this thing, you know. So some friends of mine down in Georgia, they bought the car, LS Experts. I'm sure a lot of people heard of them. They bought the car, and then they started to do some of their rendition on it, but didn't really change anything. They were building a motor for it at the time, and then COVID hit. And, you know, that kind of hurt everybody, all the shops and stuff of that nature. And they were having to move from their current shop that they were at into their new one. And the car came up for sale, and I got offered it back. And at that time, I couldn't afford it. I mean, you know, COVID had kind of hurt everybody. So the car kind of disappeared. I'd heard it went to 417 Motorsports, but that's about it. And the plan was to LDR the car. So it kind of disappeared, and then years went by, and, you know, I kept looking for the car, and it never came back out. And then a friend of mine, Jesse Tolley, was at a Holly class at 417 Motorsports, and I sent him a picture of it, and I said, see if this car is there. And he found it there. And he sent me a picture of it, and it was like a time capsule. It was covered in dust. It looked exactly how I left it, and nothing had been done to it. So I was like, dude, you got to find out who owns this car, and I got to see if I can buy it. So Chris Carroll, the owner of 417, and of course he owns a bunch of racetracks and all kinds of other stuff, he owned the car, and right away told Jesse the car's not for sale. So, but Jesse had told him the story behind the car. And one day I just get a call from Chris, and he says, I hear I got a car that you want. And I said, yeah. And he said, tell me some more about this story. So I told him about the story about the car, and he told me about a car. I believe it was a Chevelle or something that he had back in the day. And it hit him the same way. He had to get rid of the car. And he told me he probably spent $200,000 trying to locate this car, and still hasn't been able to find it. He said it's probably in a crusher somewhere. But he said that's what that car meant to him. And he could kind of hear in, Jesse's, story that he told him that that's what this car meant to me. And so he basically called me and told me, hey, this is your car. Whenever you're ready, come and get it. And I was like, all right. And I was like, well, how much are you going to sell it for? And he's like, well, how much did you sell it for? And I told him, and he said the same price.
What? No way.
And I was like, dude. So, and I was like, well, how much time do I have to come and get it to come up with this money? And he said, Tom, the car's not for sale. It's your car. So whenever you're ready for it, you just come get it. And he's like, I got a Proline Hemi that can go with it too. And I was like, nah, I don't want that. But, yeah, I talked to my wife that I'm currently married to now, and she said, well, we got the money. Let's go get it. Let's go get your car back. So I called him, and we went up there the next week, and He helped me load it up in the same envelope that I had the title in, and I wrote CTSV on it. He handed it right back to me. I can't even make that up. So he gave that back to me, and we loaded the car up. And then the goal was, because at this time I was stick shift racing and everything else, I'd given up the whole automatic thing. And I was like, man, let's turn this into the baddest stick shift car ever. And thinking about it, this thing is 113.7-inch wheelbase. So it is currently the longest stick shift car out there. And, you're almost at pro mod length. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I mean, the car is going to stay on the ground. And, the truth be told, I should have just bought another one, because we cut this thing back into pieces again and redid everything. So we added more cage to it. And now it's got a small block, 490 cubic inch CFE, all billet going in it, twin 98s, billet T56, full case, billet rear end, all carbon, everything. The roof's carbon, doors are carbon. We cut every bit of weight out of it. This thing is going to be an absolute monster. The goal is to break the 5-second barrier in the stick shift class with it. So we've wasted absolutely no money. I'll probably go bankrupt building this car, but it is going to be absolutely gangster when it's done.
That's awesome. It's an investment in your future.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, incredible car. This one right here, dude, this has my eyeball right here. The inlets on the headlights of this S2000, bro.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck, man? I love it.
So this car is my baby, all right? And I'll never sell this car. I'll probably die with it. But, I mean, it's kind of made me who I am. I've raced this car forever, and it's just went through 100 different motors and 100 different renditions and stuff of that nature. But it used to have a one-piece front end on it. And we went to a race, and they disqualified me for not meeting the spirit of the race. And this thing was for a Wally, so I was like, man, and they said, well, you don't have a dash in the car. It doesn't have a stock style front end on it. You don't have headlights, so it doesn't meet the criteria of a street car. So I was like, okay. So we brought it back, and this is when we kind of got into 3D printing and stuff of that nature before we started making parts. And it all kind of started with this car. So we needed to make a dash for it. And of course, the stock style dash, it really didn't fit anymore. This thing's got a 25X in it. So we had to 3D print a dash. We made it in like 19 pieces and then overlaid it in carbon. So we got that done, and then we had to make headlights for it. And we originally made those headlights. We 3D printed them in 4 pieces, and we wanted to make turbo scoops for it to, force air directly into the turbo. So when we made those, we were like, hey, let's see if we can once we started making our parts out of billet, I was like, let's cut these headlights out of billet. So we did that, and these things are absolutely phenomenal, dude.
Man, dude, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Bro, that's incredible. Wow.
And then, of course, like right now, as you see, we just installed them because these are some current pictures that we're building right now, but we're redoing the turbo kit on it. So I had 78s on it and S400s, and we're going to an 86 millimeter with different style gates and just kind of changing up the turbo system so it'll be a little bit more efficient. And we're also getting ready to put a 9-inch in this thing. So we're going to solid axle swap it and try and build us a bar kit where we can really get down the track. The weakest point in this car has always been IRS. And I had this goal to break the IRS record. And with the stick shift car, it's extremely hard because it's extremely hard on everything.
You misspelled violent.
Yeah, violent. So this last year, this is the second year in a row, we kind of, back in the day, World Cup was about imports versus domestics, how it first started out. So an import with a domestic engine was outlawed. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I started a petition online and got Mr. Miller to go ahead and open this thing up because, it was a big fight about, hey, imports versus domestics has evolved into World Cup. This isn't about these cars anymore. This is the fastest race in the world.
Yeah.
So let's let fast cars enter this race. So he made an exception to the rule, and now hybrids are now allowed. And so the last 2 years we've been at World Cup. In the last 2 years there, every time I turn this thing up, I shear the axles in it. And I'm just tired of that. We went out last year. We went out third round with a broken axle, and this year we made a gate swap, and we really had this thing turned up to really do something crazy. And I've never done this before. I thought I broke the diff, but it sheared both axles at the same time.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's this car been? How fast?
I've been 758 at 190 in this car.
God, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And now we got a wheelie bar set up on it, and that's another thing too. It's real short wheelbase, so it's not an ideal car to drag race, which really sucks because it wants to wheelie a lot. I mean, I've had this thing on the back bumper quite a bit. So we put wheelie bars on it at World Cup this year because they said we could have bars now. So we did that, and that's the whole reason why we turned it up. And through first gear, it would lay down on the wheelie bar and haul ass. So we really turned it up to try and run like a 1060 foot, and it just sheared both axles. And I'm like, I'm done with this rear end. Let's solid axle swap this. It's actually going to Brian Ham at Hammer Concepts and Designs. So he's taking it to his shop next month, and he's going to cut the whole rear end out of it. He's doing the whole solid axle swap himself, and he's going to set the rear end up in it for us at the track. And then our first race is in bragging rights in April. So that's why we're making our changes to the turbo kit now, so we can really get this thing ready to go.
Man, dude, that's awesome. One more reason I needed to go to bragging rights, Eric.
Right?
Yeah. Sadly, I'm not making it this year. Sadly. Dang it. That's, man, 2027. Me and Eric are just going to move to the Southeast for
Let's go
3 months of the year.
Right. All right. Well, tell us about the Caprice Donk.
All right. So that's actually a Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo. I say Caprice. Sorry. That's me.
Oh, good. So we do, like I said, we build a lot of stuff here now. So this is for a local guy here that owns a restaurant, and he wants to get into some big wheel racing and stuff of that nature. So this thing's got a fully built LS3 in it. It's got a set of Frankenstein heads on it, the works. We've wired this car from headlight to tail light. We did the suspension on the car. We put the wheels on the car. He brought it to us. It just had a 305 in it. And now it's got vintage air on it and everything that you could possibly think of. So this thing's going to be pretty remarkable when it's done.
Yeah. And what you don't know is this is my jam right here.
Yeah.
I would drive that every day, all day, especially with the setup. I'd drive it with a 305 in it, but yeah, pretty awesome.
And then what do we got here? We got a Camaro there on the left.
Yep. So 69 Camaro. We stick shift swapped this car. It's also got a big block in it, twin turbo car. So it's currently in the shop right now. We're building it right now for a customer. So he wants to do drag and drive events in this and some autocross events and stuff of that nature. So it's going to be a pretty wild car once it's done as well. And then over to the right side, we do a lot of custom framework now. And this is an OBS dually. We're waiting on fenders for it right now, but we just completed it. But we powder coated the frame, built the whole frame for it. This thing lays rocker on the ground, and it is pretty nuts.
I'm in.
And it's on 24s too, so it tucks 24s all the way down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I noticed the front there. That's a great tuck on that, man, and especially the laser on that. Oh, yeah, incredible. What's this frame on the left, and then what's the insane Cobalt or Cavalier on the right?
Gotcha. So this is another OBS that we're building right now too. It's just in the mock-up stage. As you see, the frame still kind of got some surface rust on it, but we're going to be once we get all the mock-up done on this, it will go to our we have a powder coating booth, so we do a lot of powder coating as well. So we're going to powder coat the frame, blast it, and all that good stuff. But this is a long wheelbase, just standard cab OBS that was owned. It still is owned, but by Cody Ponce. He is the pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. His parents bought this truck brand new in '93 and gave it to him, and he drove it to and from school. And now he brought it to us. We've done a lot of work for him over the past years on his Duramax and other things that he's got. We do a lot of diesel work. But he's like, hey, I got this project. I want to build the baddest drag and drive OBS that's ever been seen. So I was like, that's going to be expensive. And he's like, I'm down for it. So, and it's also stick shift swap too. So Tick built us a pretty meaty T56 for this thing. 1 through 4 is face plated. 5th and 6th got synchros in it. So this thing will be, it's got a slipper clutch in it, twin turbo, fully built 408. Of course, you see we got a bunch of parts that we make. Our intake splitter there with our big R on it. We made it's still got AC. We got AC going on this truck, everything. So, I mean, this will be something he wants to, underneath the hood, underneath the truck will be painted, but he wants to leave it where it's kind of patinaed. It's got some old 17-inch billet specialty wheels on it. We're going to put a smaller diameter tire on it, but he wants to leave those on it and kind of give it that old school look. We're going to put it in the ground, and this thing is going to be a monster when it's done.
I'm in.
And he's going to let me take it on its first drag and drive. He said, once you finish it, take it and beat it up to make sure it doesn't break before you bring it up to Canada. And I was like, I ain't got no problem with that. Trust me.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. And what's this? Is that a Cavalier?
Yes. So it's a Cavalier. Now, back in the day, I mean, I was born in '86. So back in the early 2000s, this car was on the cover of Jegs. Now, I don't know who built it. I don't know if it was a Jegs car. Somebody reached out and said that there's a poster of it or something at Jegs or something of that nature. But that's where I remember the car from. It was real big with Jegs, and it's a 454. It's got Prowler wheels on it, and it's got a 2-speed glide in it. It's got a solid mounted 9-inch in the back. So it was built as a burnout car. That the odometer still works. It's only got 20,000 actual miles on it. So it's ridiculous. But we found it. A friend of mine had it, and he had found it in the woods somewhere, and he had pulled it out, and he'd got it running, but the transmission didn't work in it and all that stuff. And he took it somewhere to try and have the transmission worked on, and they wouldn't touch it. And he just he posted it up for sale, and I was like, I'll come get it tomorrow. So we've yanked the motor out of it. We tore the transmission apart, and the pump was burned up in it and all that crap. So I actually have a transmission sitting over here that you can't see, but we found it on Marketplace for $3,300. It's like $11,000 glide that we found on Marketplace. And I asked the guy when he brought it over here, I was like, hey, can I open it up and see what's in it? We opened it up. It's brand new. It's never been used. I mean, the parts in it are ridiculous. He thought it was used transmission. He's kind of salty that he was selling it now, but he honored it and gave it to me for $3,300. So that's going in there. And then we're rebuilding this 454. It looks like it's been sleeved like 18 times. So I don't know if we're going to use that block, but we're going to build something really healthy for it. And then we got new fenders, new lights. We're going to redo the hood and kind of revive the car. And they called it the Cavzilla. That was the name of it back then. There's YouTube videos and everything of it. So we're going to bring it back to life, and it's going to be our new burnout car for the shop.
See, that's why car dudes should exist.
Exactly.
That car would have never done anything except sit in the field, but some dude drug it out. And now you guys are putting it back together. That's awesome. Before we move on real quick, I want to show my brother the Monte Carlo there, not the Caprice, because at what point in our lives we're going to build one of these big time.
Do you still have the Civic, the Civic hatch?
I do. So we're going to bring it back out again, but I kind of changed it up. So I got into drifting as well, and I've been drifting a 350Z that's LS swapped, and before that I just had the Z with the VQ motor in it or whatever's in it. So I kind of transitioned from that, and we were like, hey, the Civic just sits now. Let's do something crazy to it. So, of course, it's all built off a C5 chassis. So we got a Wise Fab kit for a C5 and then redid the front end. We put Volvo power steering on it. So We put aftermarket over fenders on it, so it sits pretty wide in the front, and we went drifting in it. It still has twin turbos and nitrous and all that stuff out of it, but we took all the timing out of it and just put it on 10-pound gate springs so it'd live. But it's still got a dark 427 in it.
That's awesome.
But it probably makes about 900 wheel now on where it's at now. But we went drifting in it, and the only thing that I didn't change was the clutch. And I had a strap clutch in that thing, and we went drifting, and it was having the time of its life until it blew all the straps off of it and the clutch came apart. So we're going to get a new clutch for that thing and put back in it. So this season we got some suspension work to do to make it travel right. But that's what we kind of redesignated the car as a drift car. So we'll be drifting a Honda Civic.
What's the wheelbase on that?
It's the same as a Corvette. So the car is actually not really stretched, but we cut out the rear quarters and moved them backwards and then sectioned the rear bumper. So it's the same diameter as a Civic, but it's the same wheelbase as a C5 Corvette now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like Jeff says, that's the first car of his that he ever saw, and that's how you and I actually met at PRI. Yeah. I think that would that have been 22?
Something like that. I think I was in Red Horse booth with it.
Wow.
Yeah, you were in Red Horse one year, and then the next year it had a different wrap on it. But
Scott Performance Wire, the next year.
Yep. Yep. So actually, that was when I went the very first year before I went with Mike, when I was just 815 LSX swaps walking around, and I see this wicked Honda Civic hatch with twin turbo LS in it, and I was like, I don't know who owns this, but I need to talk to him. And that was how you and I met. And then the next year I found you there again, and we just kind of seem to keep meeting at PRI every year now.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And here we are again. We met this year again. I'm like, yo.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, that's why I don't ever go to drift events, because I know I'll end up with one, and I don't need another car hobby. Tell us about what we're looking at here. This panel, you were showing us a little bit before the show, but man, tell us what's going on.
Yeah. So with the new car, the Cadillac, we're using Ballinger widebands on this. These are like the scientific lab grade widebands. And you can integrate them with the Haltech system. You just get better readings on it. Of course, of me putting this small block billet motor in there, I really kind of want to know exactly what's going on and us to keep this thing healthy. You know what I mean? So a friend of mine, Nick Coleman, he actually owns the stick shift record right now. He's got the fastest damn thing in the world. It's a flying brick, the S10 truck.
Yeah.
So his is called the Native Nightmare. That's what he goes by with the truck. So we're actually making him one of these too. And of course, you see mine in between the little boxes at the top. It says Renegade. His is going to say Native Nightmare. But his is just Velcroed to the top of his screen. And while that works, I was like, dude, I wonder if we could just make us a box for this thing to kind of hold it up there. So we made this in a day. This is something I kind of envisioned. So we 3D printed it, and now we're getting ready to make it out of billet. So we're going to cut this out of billet on a machine, and then this mounts directly behind the screen and encases the boxes, and it's pretty nuts. So and we kind of think it looks like what's the robot from back in the 90s, that Johnny Five? We were like, dude, it looks like Johnny Five rolling around. You know what I mean?
I dig it. Yeah. That's awesome, man. What a cool setup. And if you're friends with Nick Coleman, that means fast race car stick shift stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Me and him are really, really close friends. We call each other every week just to shoot the shit and see what's going on in each other's lives. But yeah, he helps me out. I help him out a lot too. So we're really close friends.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I can't believe how fast that truck is, and to be a square. Literally.
Well, you really got to understand Nick. You know what I mean? He is extremely talented and one of the smartest individuals I've ever met in my life. And then he dedicates himself to that truck. There's not another race car driver that I've ever met in my life that's as serious about racing as he is. Like, when it comes to testing, he tests so much that he blows his own motors up while he's testing. You know what I mean? So, he's very serious about it. And, he takes it to the heart and he makes time for it. Sometimes he's even going broke and he needs to spend more time in the shop working on other people's stuff than he is his own. But when it comes to racing, he really knows what he's doing. And everything for the last 2 years in a row, he's won World Cup, and that just goes to prove a point that he takes this extremely serious and where he's going at with the racing right now as it is. It's going to be a while. There's all these billet engine, stick shift cars coming out. And of course, he's still running an old iron block in that truck. And he is still the fastest, And, if he gets his hand on something with some billet on it where he can really turn this thing up, there's no telling how fast he's going to go in this truck.
And that's badass. That is badass. All right, well, let's move on because I want to talk about some shop stuff. Big shout out to Deech Works and all the stuff they do for us here. But you guys know Mark Campbell, 850 killer. He is coming to the circuit. I can't wait. And then TJ Lion Boss coming to the circuit. Going to be a crazy 850 class we got going on there. Performer Built Transmissions. Eric, you want to read this one?
Yeah. Performer Built is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performer Built, the goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That's why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performer Built.
All right, dude. So as we lead into the last kind of, I would say, segment here, I want to talk about the shop. Right, you've hinted at some stuff before, but I really kind of want to dig into this a little bit. Renegade Racing and Performance, where are you guys at? Where can people, how do they get in touch with you? How do they book stuff? How do they get you to build their cars?
Absolutely. So everybody can just check us out. You can Google us, shoprenegade.com, or you can just put in Renegade Racing and Performance. You can put in my name. Everything kind of comes up. It's all tied together, but we're in Clarksville, Tennessee. We're about 45 minutes north of Nashville, and we specialize in a lot of things. We have a all-wheel drive dyno here. We have a motorcycle dyno here. We have a really unique group of people that work here that are all specialized in different areas. We do a lot of our own, like I said, making stuff out of billet. We have 3 CNC machines. We've got some Hercos and mini mills and stuff of that nature. We have laser cutters. We have tube machines, everything that you could think of. And this has just kind of kept going as we kind of been perfecting our craft and what we do. So now we're building cages in cars, everything from, an engine build to a transmission build to twin turbo setup, single turbos, superchargers, you name it. We're doing absolutely every bit of it. We do a lot of custom diesel work, so we're building a lot of trucks out here. We're very experienced with the L5Ps, the new Power Strokes and 6.7 Cummins, everything that you can think of, we're putting our hands on.
Wow, that's awesome. I wanted to give you props here real quick about your placement for the billboard, bro. Right there by Waffle House.
Absolutely.
My man, had to go ahead and grab that one from your from Facebook there. Congratulations on the billboard, dude. That's a big deal, man.
Thank you.
That's real investment in the business and not just doing stuff. But look at this waiting area, showroom, man. This thing is freaking nice, dude.
Thank you. So we stock a lot of stuff, above that showroom is kind of a mini warehouse. So we're the largest nitrous outlet dealer here in the state of Tennessee. We also carry Jack's Wax, Red Horse Performance plumbing systems. We have wheels and tires in stock. We keep a line of camshafts from Tick Performance in stock. We're a Renegade Race fuel dealer. You name it, it's in stock here in the shop. So you could literally show up. If you want to go fast, we have it in stock and we can make it happen.
Dude, that's so cool, man. Well, let's talk about some business side of stuff, because this is, you and I were talking about this before the show. A lot of people, I feel like they struggle with shop ownership, so tell us why did you even start this?
So this whole side of it, again, when I first started, I'm big into diesels, right? So I work on over the road tractors and stuff of that nature. I started my first company in 2012, and I went in business working on semi trucks and doing fleet maintenance for companies and doing transport refrigeration, like reefer trailers and stuff of that nature. That's where my niche was. So we did that. We got a shop doing that. And I mean, that really took off and did really well for itself. And that's kind of what's helped me build this. But 5 years ago, well, nearly 6 years ago now, my wife had an idea. We were at the racetrack. I've been called Renegade my whole life. It's tattooed on my knuckles. And my dad gave me that name, called me the Renegade because I was always into some shit. So she came up with an idea because, racing's expensive no matter how we look at it. You know what I mean? And she's like, let's start making some T-shirts and, make a brand, and this is a dream that I had. And she kind of pushed me to do it. So I made some shirts, and then her and a friend of mine, Blake, they sold them off the back of a golf cart. We made 150 shirts, and they sold them in an hour at LS Fest on the back of a golf cart.
What?
And yeah. And I had like the little rendition of the logo on the front, and on the back, I used to just make fun of people because they were always telling me what their dyno sheep trap, And well, they said, tell me their dyno number. So I came up with a slogan. I put it on the back of the shirt. It says, what's your dyno sheep trap? You know what I mean? All these guys are like, I make 1,500 horsepower. I'm like, cool. How fast does it go down the track?
1030s.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was kind of a joke, and it just took off. So we did that. And then after that, she's like, hey, we should really jump into this. So me and her, at that time, we weren't married, but we went in together on a vendor trailer. So we bought a vendor trailer together. And she started making shirts. She came up with the Titties and Turbo shirt. That's one thing that we sell out quite a bit of. Boosting Booties. She came up with all these different slogans for these shirts. And that's how it kind of all started. We started doing that. And then a bunch of friends of mine said, dude, you should get on social media, get on YouTube. And we started doing a little bit of that. And then I built a garage behind my house. And a friend of mine was selling his shop, and he had a dyno for sale and all this extra stuff. So I was like, let me buy a dyno and I'll just put it in my backyard. Yeah. So we did that, and that went nuts, and people started coming over. Can you tune my car? Can you do this? And then it just turned into a full scale business to where codes were knocking at our doors saying, hey, you got to shut this thing down and get it out of here. So we invested in some property and built the shop that we're at now. It's 12,000 square foot facility. And, wow. I didn't think that it would really end up like this. But I did a lot of investing into it. I took a lot of the money that I was making from the truck side, invested in state-of-the-art equipment, a really nice facility. I employed the right people to make this thing happen, where different minds could come together and we could come up with some really unique things. And it just went phenomenal. But we have an alignment rack in here. We do everything from an alignment to wheels and tires to simple oil changes. Whatever you need done, we take care of it for Clarksville. And of course, Fort Campbell Army base is right here. So a lot of our clientele are Army people and veterans and stuff of that nature. So it stays extremely packed. We have a waiting list.
That's awesome, man. And especially if you are performance minded, people are bringing you performance oriented type stuff. They may come in for oil changes in their regular daily, but when they need a car built, you're the first call.
Yeah. And that goes to show my dad actually works for me now. And he used to get on to me back in the day talking about race cars are never going to make you any money. And now he works here. And so he eats those words.
Well, and that's a great point, because we're in a different time. Race cars used to not pay people like they do now, but dude, there's so many opportunities for many people that if you're remotely into cars, you can definitely find a foot somewhere, even if you're not mechanically inclined, but you understand it, or maybe you just have good organizational skills. Man, so many people need good organizational skills if they're going to have a shop.
Absolutely, man. And it takes a lot of trust too. I've got a manager, his name's Matt Graham, and I think the world of this guy. He's got my back 100% of the time, and he stands on business. You know what I mean? So my dad taught me a long time ago that you got to trust people, even though you're going to be screwed. And I've been screwed quite a bit, and you can't allow other people to disrupt who you are. So even with that happening, I still put trust in people as soon as they walk in the door. And that's what's carried this business to where it's at now, is I let other people do their jobs. I don't try and micromanage everything. I'm here when I need to be. I'm doing what I need to do. And I work for Matt, and a lot of people, they'll ask me about pricing and stuff like that. I don't have anything to do with any of that. I actually work out here in the shop as a technician, and Matt is the manager. My wife helps manage this. My dad's over the trucking industry side of our company. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. But I like to be in the shop, and a lot of people, they say, man, you could be sitting at home. You could be doing anything in the world. Why are you still turning a wrench? And that's really what I like to do. I like to be out there working with the guys and, figure it out.
Well, and I think that takes a long time to figure out for a lot of people. Like there's some folks, and then they just have that struggle of hiring a manager for the business. They're trying to do it and wrench on stuff and order parts and do everything that, that next step is 2 months of struggle away from breaking open all the stuff, because you need to hire a manager, but you don't have the money. You don't have the money to hire a manager or an office person or somebody to answer the phone, answer emails, all that kind of stuff. But if you just do it and do it right, man, I'm telling you.
You got to take those risks. People are scared of it, because a lot of this, you're looking at it and money's a big deal, right? So you got to be able to make the money to support the people that are working for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you're not going to be able to take that next leap in business until you put that faith in other people and let them do their job. And that's another reason why I stay in the shop, is because I know what I can do. I can fix things. I'm really good at it. So if I can pump work out the door and get it out the door, I'm going to pay the manager's salary. And the people that are doing billing up here, there's 2 girls that work for us, Michaela and Megan. They do all the billing and stuff of that nature in the back office. So I'm out here working and I'm paying their salaries. And at the end of the day, I don't have to worry about that headache. The only thing I got to worry about is keeping that car running that's outside.
That's right. That's awesome.
Well, obviously you've been very successful in your business ventures, but one thing people don't talk a lot about is the struggles of a small business owner. What kind of advice or information do you have kind of around the struggles of being a small business owner?
Well, every day it's a struggle. That's the thing about it is, and you got to learn how to manage stress. You know what I mean? And you got to be able to, it's not always what you want. You know what I mean? And, a lot of people say, I get this question asked all the time, when is the Cadillac going to be done? Well, I'm not a millionaire, so I can't just throw all this money at a car all at once and have it done in a month. You know what I mean? So as much as I'd like to say, sure, could I afford it? The money's in the bank, but at the end of the day, I got to make sure that the people that work for me are taken care of too. I've got 25 mouths to feed, 25 families, you know what I mean? So I got to make sure they're taken care of first. And at the end of the day, I'm the last person that's being taken care of. Everybody's paid before I get a paycheck. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stress that goes involved in that. And then you got to, one other thing that I could tell you, and that goes back to the management side of things, is you got to take some of that stress off your shoulders. And that's why I put it on other people, such as Matt, Megan, Michaela, all the girls that are working up front, so that they can help handle that. My dad does billing for the trucking company, so he can handle that side of things. You know what I mean? So all this stress isn't on my shoulders, but at the same time, I still got to make this thing work like a well-oiled machine. So it's hard, and you just got to put your mind to what you want to do and how successful you want to be, and then the skies are the limit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And what you said there kind of reminds me, I just got out of a 7-week leadership class at my day job. And one of the things we talked about is the book Leaders Eat Last. And man, that's really hits on what you're talking about there.
Yeah. And another thing too, and I've been asked this question by other guys that own shops and stuff of that nature. Like, we do hydro dipping, powder coating. I've got plasma tables and laser tables and all this extra stuff. And one of the guys asked me, do you make a lot of money in that area? And I'm like, well, not as much as you think I'd be, right? So, yeah, we do 3D printing and everything underneath the sun, And I tell people, this is the reason why I stay so busy. You can't be afraid of investment. When a lot of people want to do a speed shop or work on cars and stuff of that nature, they'll be able to do a cam job, and then it's like, oh, I got to take it to this dyno. Or they're doing suspension lifts and doing suspension work. Well, I got to take it to Firestone to do an alignment. They're not investing in themselves. And, to begin with, and startup is hard. You know what I mean? So, but you got to get to a point where you can invest in all the stuff that you need. So at the end of the day, you're a one-stop shop, because one day, you might not be doing cam swaps. I might be doing alignments. The next day I'll be doing tires. The next day I'll be powder coating something. The next day I'll be working on a semi in the parking lot. I don't know what the next day is going to cover, but I do know that I'm going to be busy. You know what I mean? So the more that I can invest in the tooling, the equipment, and everything else that I got, and appearance has a lot to do with everything. A lot of people, they don't care. They'll pull up in a busted truck out on a service call, and I don't want somebody in a busted ass truck working on my stuff. I want somebody in a nice looking truck. You look at our service trucks, they all have forces on them. They're wrapped in American flags and everything else. Our building is extremely nice. I'm real anal about cigarette butts being on the ground. All these things come into play if you present yourself very nice, and you see our showroom and everything else. When people come in here, it's welcoming. There's pictures of race cars everywhere. The things that we're doing, we invite people in the shop to see the projects we got going on. The business just sells itself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that makes me think of one thing. As you talk about investments and stuff. I used to do social for a shop that was local here, and that guy was really good with mod motors. He just knew them inside and out, knew what to do to make power, right? All this kind of tune, all that kind of stuff. For guys that are coming up that aren't to the point of being able to really throw some investment, do you think niching down, getting down to a certain style or brand, is maybe a better step? That way they become their local expert on that?
Somewhat, we're known as an LSLT specialty shop, but we have a ton of Mopars sitting outside. We have a ton of Mustangs sitting outside, Hondas and everything else that you can think of. We do a little bit of everything, right? So the thing that I've saw, I'm not going to recommend that. If you limit yourself to one thing, there's only so many people that are into mod motors. You know what I mean? Yep. There's only so many people that are into LSs and stuff of that nature. And, we don't limit ourselves to that. We're working on everything from a diesel to a motorcycle to whatever kind of car pulls in the parking lot, we're doing it, So the more that you can open yourself up, and that's why I said we have a great, unique staff here. There's people that work here that all they specialize in is classic restoration and stuff of that nature. And as you saw, we have a lot of old vehicles here and carbureted stuff and everything that you could think of. We open ourselves up to a bigger platform, so that way we're not going to be waiting on that next person to show up. So sure, it's cool to be specialized in one thing, but the more you can open yourself up to bigger things out there, the more success you're going to have.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
All right. Well, we talked a little bit about struggles of being a small business owner. Let's flip the script and let's talk a little bit about what are the benefits of being a small business owner.
The biggest benefits are, and this is what I like about it, is living life, right? So being able to make a good, decent paycheck better than the average person, right? Where I'm able to have these experiences that the average person doesn't have. I'm able to say 2 days before a drag and drive event, I'm going, you know what I mean? And have the financial means to do that. My daughter, for her birthday, the only thing she wanted to do was go to New York. So she's 9 years old, and I couldn't figure out why we were going to New York, but it turns out there's a company up there that allows you to make your own cell phone case. So I had a $5,000 trip to New York to make a cell phone case, right? But I was able to share that experience with her. And if it wasn't for me investing in this company, investing in all the other things that we're doing, I wouldn't be able to have these experiences that I'm able to have in my life now. So that's the biggest takeaway for me, is just life experiences outside of the business. And then the people I get to meet while I'm here. I've met so many people, you know, and it seems like so many people know me, even though I struggle to remember where I met them at. You know what I mean? It's an amazing feeling to, I go here in town and it seems like everybody knows me. People are waving at me saying, "What's up, Tom?" and all this extra stuff. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you much longer. Big shout out to Ryan and the team at Performability. Guys, if you need like 4L60, they 7-second 4L60 Camaro, like world record, 4L60 stuff, 4L80, turbo 400s, they can build it all. They focus on GM stuff out there. AFCO Racing Products, man, our boy Eric Saffel has been crushing it lately. Racers know when you want performance that wins, you want AFCO. From shocks and suspension to cooling brakes and more, AFCO Racing has been helping teams go faster for over 30 years. Built by racers, for racers. Check out the AFCO Advantage and follow them today on social media for the latest in performance parts. AFCO Racing, built to win. I want to talk about one of the craziest things right here. The EPA and the Department of Justice made a post on X. It says today the Justice Department is exercising its enforcement discretion to no longer pursue criminal charges under the Clean Air Act based on allegations of tampering with onboard diagnostics in motor vehicles. And then it goes on to say DOJ is committed to sound enforcement principles, basically avoid over-criminalization of environmental law in partnership with the EPA. DOJ will still pursue civil enforcement for these violations when appropriate, which means don't do dumb shit with stuff. Let's just have performance cars and not be wild. Dude, for a guy like you that has this kind of business, how big of a deal is this?
This is a very big deal. All right. As you know, we do a lot of diesel work and stuff of that nature. One of the biggest questions we get all the time is delete this, delete that. You know, and even it comes to cars, getting rid of AFM and DOD and all this extra stuff. It's all been illegal for so long. The EPA comes over here quite a bit. You know what I mean? So we get our doors knocked on all the time. And, you know, and yes, do we technically, we don't technically delete things, but do we do emissions related stuff? Yeah. And they're coming in here and they're checking everything. If we've got a DOC can laying on the ground, we better have a receipt from where we put another one in, or we're getting a fine for it. It's been pretty strict and pretty crazy. You know what I mean? So it's, and these, the truth is, you know, especially diesels, they don't run good with all this crap, all this emissions crap. And I mean, you know, it really sucks and it really hurts the engine. And we got so many breakdowns with that crap, man, that it's good to see that it's going away and that an end is finally in sight, because this is it's pretty bad.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's been people, hundreds of thousands of fines and
it's crazy.
I mean, I never understood it, to be honest, because the performance aftermarket automotive is so small when you talk about, you know, in relation to other polluters, like we're tiny. And in Arkansas, dude, we don't have a yearly registration or anything. We don't have to. I haven't had anybody put anything in the tailpipe ever in the 30 years I've been driving.
Right.
So, like, how did they go in and do all this? It's pretty crazy. We for a good while, I flipped parts on eBay and stuff like that, and had several parts removed from eBay and all that. Oh, hey, Destroyer 1320 lives close to you guys. He's over in Tennessee somewhere.
Absolutely. He's actually not too far from us. He's prior military as well, and he comes over and uses our dyno all the time.
That's awesome, man. We love him. He's a great dude, Eric. He's awesome. Been friends a long time.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, man. It's pretty crazy to see this change.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm really excited and pumped for it. It's going to open up a lot of doors for us, a lot of doors for other performance shops. And, you know, when it comes to doing something like taking some type of emissions equipment off, specifically if it's for a race car purpose only, something that's not going to be on the street, you know what I mean? We don't have to worry about the EPA eating us in the back. What's up, bro? So we don't have to worry about that. I mean, and that's one of the things that, you know, especially online, somebody say, hey, can you do this? And like, I can't answer them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting myself in jeopardy for doing that. You know what I mean? And then the EPA shows up and then it's a whirlwind of crap. So I'm really glad that this is going away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pumped too. Eric, were you going to say something? I cut you off.
No, I was just going to kind of round out the end here, and as we kind of wind down, what's up next for you personally with cars and that business? Kind of what's next for you? And we had a question earlier: will a caddy be at World Cup 26?
That's a maybe. All right. So on and I'm not really shooting for World Cup 26. I'm probably looking at World Cup 27. We are about a month or two away with all the fab work being done. And then we're going to paint the car. And then we still got plumbing and final assembly. And I really want to test this car and get out and make it work before we go to a major event. You know what I mean? I want to go out and set the suspension up and really get this thing going down the track. When we're cracking off sixes like it's no sweat, then we're going to start showing up to major events with it and really start lighting this thing up and turning into it to see if we can break that 5-second barrier. So may not be this year, but it will for sure be out 2027. And we will be at all the big events in 2027 with the car. And then we'll be doing a lot of testing on it. Me and Nick have been working together a lot on this car, and he's going to actually help set the car up. And, you know, we both want to see it. Even though he's the current record holder right now, he wants me to take it from him. You know, he wants to see this car break the 5-second barrier because it's something that we can both be proud of because he's putting a lot of energy into it as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it's hard.
So what about you? What's the rest of the year got in store for you? What events and stuff like that are you doing?
Well, again, Streetcar Bragging Rights is our first event over in North Carolina. And then I heard through the grapevine that we will be doing the Sick, the streetcar, and
Speed Fest.
Yeah, we're doing that. So I heard that we got accepted into that through the grapevine. So we will be at that event for sure. And then, of course, all the big major events will be at the Wisconsin Stick Shift Show, put on by Ryan Peterson and Nick Coleman as well. So we'll be up there. I don't think I'm going to make Texas 2K because we're putting in this rear end right now. But Florida 2K, of course, the reunion and stuff of that nature. And we're also redoing Bree's Mustang right now. So we're adding a bunch of stuff to it. I'm putting a different transmission in it. Matt over at TIC is building a T56 Magnum XL that's more, it's desynchronized 1 through 4, face plated. Kale over at Black Magic sent me an 8-bolt LSA style flywheel and slipper clutch for it. So we're going to put that in there. So it'll be a little softer on the rear end. So we're not breaking axles and stuff, but it's going to, we're going to go hit some drag and drive events. I'm not sure which ones yet, but once we get the car back together and ready to rock, we'll be entering some drag and drives, and you'll be seeing me back out there in the Mustang.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, dude. Thank you. I know we talked earlier. You got prior engagements that we've kept you from. We appreciate you spending time with us, man.
Absolutely. We're going to see midget wrestling. Let's go.
Let's go. That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be you said it's a shop party. You guys have a great time, man.
That'll be pretty nuts.
Yep. All right, dude. Well, we'll see you soon. I'll be crossing through Nashville in a couple of weeks or next weekend, headed towards Sick Week. Hopefully we aren't all iced in, but maybe on my way back, I'll swing by the shop.
Come on by and see us.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
Hey, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Dude, how cool, man. What a great dude.
Yeah.
I enjoy having guests on for a little longer, man. That's kind of fun to spend 90 minutes with that guy and really kind of, we talked about stuff we normally don't talk to with folks, being the business side of stuff and everything like that. So pretty cool to do that. Appreciate him spending the time with us for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, like one of the first people I really met at my first PRI. So it's been cool to run into him each year and, have little conversations here and there throughout the year. So it's been really cool.
Yeah. Well, since we got just a minute and a half here before we shut this thing down, next week, guys, going to be even crazier. It is the Wednesday before Sick Week. We're going to be, we've got Steve from Wire Care on. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff within the wire care world. Finnegan runs their stuff all the time, but they've got a new Custom Tailored, spelled Taylord, built off of Dennis and Alex Taylor's, what they carry around, what they think is a good kit to have for drag and drive racers. So Wire Care is providing that out in the world, and Steve is going to kind of talk to us about that. And then also, we've really kind of dug deep this year on building better cars. Oh, hey, dude, yeah, we need to hit him up for some voiceovers for sure. So we've got Steve on, and then of course we've got Calvin and Andrew Nelson, father and son team, going to be going down to Sick Week. They are building the fastest car they've ever built. It's got an Atlas 4200. That car is going to be insane. I don't know if you follow their stuff, if you watch it much, but they just built a 8 HP 70 transmission that they're putting behind this Atlas. Like it's really a front leading technology car. So it's going to be there. We've got them headed that way. Sick Week Freaks is the class they're going to be in. We've got also Trevor Brandon sent an email or a message earlier to us. He's going down Sick Week Freaks. And then of course, Cooper Bogetti bringing out the 2JZ Camaro. Bunch of diesel stuff going on. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Eric said that he's in Kentucky, by the way. Sorry, buddy. You're not far. You're not far from Tennessee. That's like, it's Big Brother right there. So definitely need to hit him up, see how far he is out of the way. Maybe I can swing by there and spend a couple hours with those guys. Man, him and I've been friends a long time. We started all of this kind of about the same time. So why don't you lead us out, man?
All right. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Again, great show. It's been awesome seeing all the comments tonight. Talking with Tom. Appreciate Tom coming in. Again, everybody in our Race Car Friends group, appreciate all of you. Congratulations to the winners of our giveaway from at the beginning of the show. So again, can't do it without all of you guys. So we appreciate you guys. And you're going to see a bunch of Race Car Friends here in 11 days.
A bunch. I can't wait.
And then, of course, can't do it without our sponsors. Wouldn't be able to travel to Sick Week if it wasn't for our sponsors. So again, if you guys are able to, check out these companies, support those that support us. Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performabilit Transmission, Car Chains 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And again, we will see you guys on Saturday morning.
Yep. Later.